Let's talk.
John Brown.
Manchester must dance, a life of music, madness, and moving on up. It's been described by none other than Irvin Welsh, i.e. Trainspotting, as already my essential music book of the year. Mike Pickering has seen it all, done it all, probably taken most of it. Let's tell the tale. Started off with the Beatles in 63. You may know small destinations and bands such as the Hacienda. It's a destination if you have to ask that question. Go to the back of the queue. But also James, M People, you name it. He's been there. Delighted to say that he's with us now. Good morning, Mike.
Morning.
Are you sitting somewhere glamorous, you know, with a palm tree in the background with some, I don't know, somebody serving you the margarita?
No, not like you. No. I'm in London. And the sun is it's nice. It's the blossom time, so it's kind of cool.
It's the blossom time. The thing that struck me...
Don't ask me anymore. I don't know about trees.
No, neither do I. It's the you can shelter... When your head's really thumping, you can shelter under them, apparently. I thought I knew some bits and pieces about you because obviously I was somewhat around in the 90s. But 1963, you went to see the Beatles with your mum?
Yeah, I think I can't remember. I was young, very young, and my mum managed to get tickets for the Beatles and took kids from the street. So me and about four other ragamuffins sat in the back of a van,
right,
trying to get to the Hardwick Apollo. Yeah. It was a real experience because I didn't even know what a concert was. You know? I had no idea, and it was just hysteria. You know, you couldn't hear anything because they didn't have PA systems in those days.
Yeah,
so they just played through their guitar amps and. You know, that didn't drown out 2,000 screaming, hysterical kids, you know. I just remembered it being cool and thinking, wow, I'd like to do something like that. It seems a lot of freedom.
Yeah. So Manchester is presumably home. Whereabouts in Manchester are we talking, by the way? Because I mean, that could be anything. That could be anything from, I don't know. You could go from like Alderley Edge all the way up to wherever, couldn't you? Basically.
Yeah. No, Alderley Edge is a bit footballers, really.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I was born in North Manchester, the tough part of Manchester.
Right.
Very near the city centre in a place called Moston. And then I've lived all over. But in I suppose, the formative years, the teen years in Chorlton,
right,
which I still consider my Manchester home.
And it's kind of difficult to explain to a lot of people who aren't sort of from around the area or anywhere sort of north of that, they're London, as Marconi calls it, because you look at, you know, in the 70s and the early 80s, growing up in that part of the world, I'm from Stoke-on-Trent, it was before everything had been...
It's like Slash is from Stoke-on-Trent.
Well, I mean, I'm down the road from Madeley, and that's where Lemmy was from, you see. So,
wow.
Yeah, exactly. So, therefore, and we were sort of like that, almost like that West Country sort of heavy. Anyway, let's get away from this. It's not about me, as the saying goes.
Wasn't also, just going off the east again, wasn't Rod Templeton also from there? Who wrote...
Yeah,
he wrote all Michael Jackson's biggest hits.
Exactly. Yeah, and the Vincent, you know, and basically
there
wrote
you go. Don't put it down.
I'm not putting it. I'm not putting it down. But what I'm about to say is because now we've had this regeneration of Sheffield, Leeds, Liverpool, you know, Cardiff, Manchester. You know, back in the late 70s when we're looking at sort of post-punk goth sort of new romantic stuff. I mean, it would you know, KLF sang it was grim up north, and it wasn't the sort of sparkly wine bar, football that's got a restaurant sort of place that we now associate, which is wonderful places like, you know, Canal Street and, you know, and Liverpool obviously and Sheffield and Leeds. It was a bit more industrial.
Well, Manchester's the most exciting city in Europe at the moment. It's incredible, you know.
Yeah.
I don't even recognise it, but the difference always between London and Manchester when I was growing up, and I once went to see Anthony Burgess do a book launch at Waterstones in Manchester, and he said, someone asked him the difference between London and Manchester. He said, in Manchester we look out to the world, and we want to take in what the rest of the world gives us, like Detroit, Chicago, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, Europe. Whereas London, they look into themselves. None of them have ever been north of Watford Gap. You know, they all stay in London or they go to the continent. You know, and it's true
because it comes to you. So how do you get? How do you get involved? You know, and again, as a kid growing up in that sort of area, you know, people like Tony Wilson, I just sort of knew them from watching, you know, from Granada TV and Look Northwest and all that sort of stuff. And you know, the impact that he has on putting Manchester, you know, on the map, as it were, as a culture. And how do you get involved with broadening your musical sort of influences? Because, I mean...
Well, the key to us, a lot of us meeting, doesn't come from music. It comes from... Manchester City. And we're all big Man City fans. And Rob Gretton, who has passed away now but was my best mate, who was actually, he managed New Order, Joy Division, he was the mover and shaker behind the Hacienda, really. Tony is like brilliant, but Tony's a figurehead. Yeah. You know, he went to Cambridge, he was a media personality, so he was the front man. But yeah, we all met in, like, you know, the dark old days of football, on the terraces at Manchester City. Johnny Marr, Noel, Rob, me, Mark Smith, all of us, we're all City fans. We all still go as well. I was there with Noel yesterday at Chelsea. Right. You know, we're all still there. We're just in the away end. We don't go. We don't. You know, there's no VIP treatment. No, we stand with everyone in the away end. Yeah, it's great.
I just love that when Tevez went from United to City and they put that billboard up saying "Welcome to
Manchester."
I mean, if you know, you know, kind of thing, isn't it?
but that's where that was the kind of key. And then later, when punk happened, that kind of blew all our minds, because we're like, hang on a minute, we can do this. Do you know what I mean? So we all got together, really. We all just pulled together. Rob did a night at the Oaks, this run-down old pub. It's been pulled down now in Charlton. And he had people like Johnny Thunder and the Heartbreakers and Susie and the Banshees and, like, top punk bands coming and playing on a tiny little dance floor. There's all bamboo shoots all around, so you had to put your head between them to see the band. It was amazing. It was real DIY.
Yeah. And just imagining that. But so how do you? I mean, you're all kind of. Oh, another question. Were you? So come on, because most of Manchester claims to have been at that concert by the Pistols. I mean, Mick Hucknall said no, because Hucknall says he's there. You know, everybody. I mean, he was. Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was there. There wasn't many people there. There really wasn't. I went to the second one. There was two. Right. So I went to the second one with Martin Fry from ABC, who contributes in the book, who was my old school friend. And then we went to see them also at the Electric Circus, which was an incredible venue. But it wasn't so much the Pistols that blew our mind. It was, to me, it was the Buzzcocks. And the Spiral Scratch EP. Yeah. That was what blew our mind, because they were local lads. They didn't dress up in safety pins and all the Malcolm McLaren gear, Vivian Westwood gear. Yeah. They just stood on the front on a Xerox cover with these magnificent 2-minute songs about boredom, you know, doing something about it. And it was just mind-blowing, really. That, for me, that was it. There was no turning back. So how do you? Because I mean, people sometimes sort of think that Hacienda sort of sprung fully formed, but is it an organic sort of thing? And do you think we need to because there's music coming in? I mean, it's house music is taking over in the state. You know, you got coming to garage, but you've got all that stuff coming in from Chicago.
Well, to be honest, we showed them. I mean, because Frankie, it was a gay community thing in America, in like the projects in Chicago. I brought a Chicago house review to the Hacienda in 1986, I think, 86, or maybe on the turn of 86, 87. It was Marshall Jefferson, Adonis, Frankie Knuckles, Fingers Inc. with Larry Heard, and one other artist. There was 12 to 1,400 people there going absolutely berserk, and then Frankie was stood with me in the DJ booth with Larry Heard, and they were nearly crying because they didn't know anyone outside of their little community knew about their music.
Yeah.
And this guy in Manchester was playing it to like all these people going wild to it, And so, sorry, go on.
After you, sorry, because you said so.
I remember going to the new music seminars in the early 90s in New York, and they really didn't know about house music in America. It was coming out of England. I mean, the music was coming out of America, but we were the people playing it, you know. I played at the Smart Bar in Chicago, and I was playing something on DJ International, and these people coming up going, "Hey, man, this is great. This is fantastic. Is it from Manchester?" I went, "No, it's from just over the railway tracks there, where you never go." Right there.
But the thing, to put it in context, because, if you say, it's really interesting because you've got, in the 80s, right, the mid-80s, Harry Enfield's Loads of Money, I think, is iconic because you've got one load and the high point is sort of Stringfellow and Empire and all that down in, in London and the whole thing, and the whole big shoulder pads and, it's VIP and Velvet Rope, isn't it? And everybody's got a place called Ritzy. Yeah. And kind of, what you're doing, and this is almost pre-ecstasy kind of hits the market, and then everything goes completely brilliant. But the situation is that it's people who don't want to there to be seen. This is their guess. They want to be there for the music, and it's like the northern dance. It's like the northern soul thing. It's you want to be there to dance and feel the experience, and just for, in the immortal words of Cheers, you want to know where you can forget all your troubles for a couple of hours.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, totally. I mean, it was a totally classless movement. You'd have bricklayers next to doctors, next to anaesthetists. Next, I had also met all kinds of people. Yeah, no one gave a shit really. Excuse me, can I say that?
Well, you just have done, so there's no delay, mate. So I mean, there's not like I haven't fired up the time machine this morning.
Dear.
Well, there you go. These things happen. Trust me on this one.
Hardly a bad word.
It doesn't translate well. Anyway, so how do you move from that then to getting in touch with the the Mondays and Happy Mondays, and also James, who are obviously, because people think it's all sort of crazed, i.e. the Happy Mondays, but there's also there are bands like James out there who are doing melodic stuff and aren't going completely crazy.
Well, James were glass collectors, pot collectors at the Hacienda,
right,
when it first opened. So Tim Booth used to collect all the glasses. So and one day he gave me a cassette, and it was wonderful, and it was a whole album really, which Rob Gretton and I tried to find years later. To put out, but we could never find it. But and they wanted a gig. They wanted a gig, and they wanted see if we'd put a record out, and that's how we worked. We didn't have contracts or anything. We just like, yeah, great. And then I got them supporting the Smiths on tour.
Yeah.
Which was a great introduction for them. I remember it's really funny going to see them up, I think Wolverhampton or somewhere, and they were all sat in the back of a Salford van Air with a Calagas stove. Me and Rob were like, "What, you having mung beans?" They were real hippies, you know what I mean? And they were like, "Well, yeah, we are actually, yeah."
I mean, it's about a bunch of hippies. I mean, this is sort of like early 90s, and there was sort of the new age, the crusties, weren't they? The Travellers and all that, and the government was cracking down on it, and the warehouse party scene, and then it took off with Bagley's and the church in London, and I don't know, Cream, Club UK, which got shut down in the end down in Wandsworth area, but because just people, a couple of people overdose, Daily Mail goes mad, something must be done, etc. Hacienda then gets a bad rap as well, didn't it? Because they're saying, organised crime's moved in, and this.
Well, to be fair, they did move in.
Yeah.
Look, I always say that 1988 and 1989, the two first and second Summers of Love, were wonderful.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful because we were like a secret society, because the authorities didn't have a clue what was happening.
Yeah.
And, they didn't know anything about it. It was when a guy, I can't remember his name now, one of the big promoters in London, came out on News at 10. I remember the night sat there watching it, and someone said, "Watch News at 10," and I did. And I just said, "Well, it's over now. That's it." you know, everyone knows about it. So, of course, as well as the police becoming interested, gangsters becoming interested.
Of course they do.
Ecstasy pills they were 25 quid a throw in those days. You know, and as we know, all around Europe, you know, wherever there's drugs, there's criminals.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And
it got really violent in a very quick, short amount of time. I left then. I left in 91.
Yeah.
I never set foot again in the place.
And you've got things like the Ministry of Sound, Jamie Palumbo and all that lot, and the door policy there, the bouncers there were probably the scariest people you could ever meet on the face of the planet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we made the terrible mistake of putting one of the controlling gangs on the door because Tony thought it was a good idea, and I was like, that's a really bad idea.
Bit like the Stones and the Hells Angels, basically, you know, to be security.
Yeah, but it was carnage.
I mean, just quickly, because I don't want to go down the whole happy, because everybody knows how crazy the Happy Mondays was, but it must have been hilarious fun, because you never knew what was going to come through the door. It was a bit like Gladiator, wasn't it? Whatever comes through these doors, we might survive if we all stick together.
Yeah, what do you mean, the Hacienda?
Yeah, and the Hacienda, and also Happy Mondays, and trying to look after Sean. And,
the Mondays. Yeah. Well, I signed the Monday. Yeah, when I found them, they were just hanging around the Arndale Centre, and then I made the first record with them, which wasn't that good, but I knew they had something. You know, they were great. Yeah, and. But yeah, they got ravaged by drugs in the end, and they've come out the other end. You know, they're good now. They're on tour now.
But it must be. I mean, you've got
Bez and Sean are now. I call him Showbiz Sean because he's always doing like showbiz shows on TV. You know, I'm like, what's going on here? And Bez keeps bees.
Yeah,
Bez is a beekeeper.
Yeah, well, Bez is a national treasure now. That's the thing. I mean, Bez, you know, back again, Daily Mail days. He's going to eat your children, and now he's like adorable. You know what I mean?
He probably would have done, mind you. He didn't eat though, Bez. He never ate.
Yeah, it must be allergic to something. But
you know what? I've just thought of that. I've never seen Bez eat.
Haven't you?
That's weird. I've known him 40 years, maybe. I've never seen him eat.
maybe they got a secret bet and you don't know about it, Mike. Maybe that's the thing.
I don't know. I don't know what he does, to be honest. Yeah.
Now, people, good grief. One Night in Heaven, Search for the Heroes. I mean, again, soundtrack to my life, basically. I mean, Heather Small, blimey, saw her in concert in Marbella actually a couple of years ago. Girls Are Falling. She said, I'm doing what everyone else is doing here, but I'm doing it in heels, so take note.
Yeah, she likes a pair of heels.
Oh, does she ever?
Well, I saw. It was supposed to be like Soul to Soul with Jazzy, you know, like a collective where I'd use different people. And my manager Pete said, "I've got this other act." We'd started Deconstruction Records because I'd made the T-Coy record. No one wanted to sign it. Yeah, and so we went, right, we'll put it out ourselves. We'll call it Deconstruction. And he said, well, I've got this girl in a soul band called Hot House, and they're supporting Barry White at the Albert Hall tonight. I said, oh, come along, you know. So I went along, and it's a difficult place, really difficult place to play, the Albert Hall, because you're right on, everyone's right on top of you, and you can actually see people in the audience. Right. And she was just staring at the floor. But her voice, I was like, oh my God, that voice is so great. It's so identifiable. I remember being in the car on the way back from the gig, and I was with Martin Fry, and I said, oh man, that girl's amazing. I've got to get her singing. And he's like, Mike, she's just looking at the floor all the time. I said, I don't care. You can get her to look up. She's amazing. Anyway, about 3 days later, I got her to agree to come and do 2 songs. I did Colour My Life and How Can I Love You More, and she was just wonderful. And so, you know, I just said, well, Paul was already with me, helping me translate everything musically. Yeah. So I just said, right, I just think this is a band. You know, it just feels like a band. I don't want to do the collective. The three of us should be a band, and that was it. And we took off. Yeah. I mean, did you ever? Yeah, when How Can I Love You More went into the charts, we didn't actually have a follow-up, and we were sat in the studio and we wrote Moving On Up, which has been our biggest hit. And then, you know, so we were writing as we were going along and touring. And it was like full on. What did they say? You're living by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
It was great.
I saw a TV thing.
It was 10 years of pure magic.
I mean, I saw a TV thing. I don't know, it must have been Main Road. I don't know if it was a football thing or it was a gig you did at Main Road, but blimey, I mean, absolutely.
No, unfortunately, that was Old Trafford.
Old Trafford? Was it Old Trafford? Did you have to get dispensation from certain religious authorities to actually go there? Or did you have to get...
City made me a T-shirt with "How Can I Love Blue More" on the front.
Oh, that's really good.
And I wore it, yeah.
But
I wore it. I had to put it on.
Yeah.
It was in the round, and you went down the centre of the stage, and I had to put it on for the encore. And as I was getting changed, and the wardrobe girl was letting me get changed, I pulled my head through the top of the T-shirt, and Bobby Charlton and Alex Ferguson had stood in front of me, and I went, "Check that out, lads. We will rise again." And they both were deadpan, never smiled, nothing. I thought, you miserable pair of sods.
Because that was back in the day, wasn't it, when Manchester United City were beautiful losers? That was the whole thing, and it was, how times have changed, eh?
Yeah, eh?
Hey?
Yeah.
But,
role reversal.
Exactly. But so, I mean, you say 10 years. I mean, M people were massive. And also, but it brought people to dance floors and introduced people to dance music who maybe wouldn't have done, their mummies and daddies wouldn't let them go to dark and dust, what's it clubs. So it was groundbreaking for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, that's the ended, you mean?
Yeah, but that whole music scene. Well, a lot of people wouldn't have known about the house scene or the garage scene.
I was liking the hacienda being built in Manchester, which was a very grey city in those days, to a spaceship landing. In the city centre, this mad spaceship.
Yeah,
and people were a little kind of, whoa, what's going on here at first? It took a good few years to get anyone in it. So it was very shiny.
It was very shiny. So why the book then, Mike? What did you say? I think I must put this down for future generations so they know from whence it sprang. Yeah.
Well, everyone was telling me. All my friends were telling me, and they all told me so much that Johnny Marr, Martin Fry, Calvin Harris and Noel Gallagher. I said, right, well, if you think I'm writing a book so much, you can write part of it. So they have. The funniest bit was a few weeks ago, because I had to do an audio book, and no one told me how hard that would be. I mean, oh my God, it's so hard. But I had to get the lads in to do their parts. So I've got Noel going, he left the car out. He left his driver outside.
No.
I said, Alan, I think you might, Alan's his driver, said, I think you should come back a bit later. I was, I'll do it in no time. He got off the mic and he come out, he went, never ask me to do that again. It's the worst thing I've ever done. And then all of them come in. Calvin came in. He's like, I'll do that in 2 minutes. And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard because you've got to do it exactly as it says in the book. But it's great. It's a great audio book because all four of them are on it.
And you never sound like you think you sound, do you, when you hear your voice come back? I mean, Oh,
it's awful. I don't know. You sit there all day, mate.
Talking to myself, basically. What do you? Has it been? But was it fun to? Are you sort of? Because I mean, the old hoary Clayton. If you can remember it, you weren't really there, man. But I mean, you do kind of remember it because these are.
Yeah, I've got a great memory.
Yeah.
I've got a weird memory. I've only got a memory for things I like. I kind of, And the other weird thing about my memory is I always remember what shoes people had on. And Johnny Marr's the same. Both of us, I think we were all mods, and we're like, oh, do you remember such a body? Oh, yeah, I used to wear those desert boots from such a place and all that,
Well, you can
what were people wearing? Timberland boots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like straight away I go with the shoes.
Yeah, that was. But people were always wearing Timberlands. That's another thing, wasn't it?
In those days, yeah. Well, it took a lot of batter on those dance floors.
As long as they didn't have the Grosh bottle tops and stuff like that. That was a fashion move too far.
What was that?
When people used to put the Grosh bottle tops on their shoes way back in the day.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I know.
No friend of mine ever did that.
Well, there you go. What are you hoping that people will learn and take away from Manchester Must Dance? Yeah.
Look, I just thought it was a nice thing to do, the book. And also, you know, it's like, say, for example, Factory Records, Joy Division. You see people walking around, kids all around the world with Joy Division shirts on. Everyone thought we were freaks. They sold maybe 15,000 of each of those albums, you know.
Yeah.
And all these musical things happened, you know, acid house, punk, and because of the governments at the time, the oppression of the people. There was, you know, Manchester was such a dirty, grey, old, oppressive place that we came out of it in an artistic way, really. I really, truly believe that. And so I wanted to kind of write a book that would be valuable to young people. And I think it is. I mean, you know, I worked 20 years at the end of my career at Columbia Records. And I'm going to do stuff there. You know, Sony want me to go back in so I can talk to A&R kids and, you know, stuff like that. Because the basis of the music industry hasn't really changed. Even though we don't buy music like we used to, we stream. It's still all about songs. Yeah. You know, on your radio station, if it's not a great song, it's not going to get played down the line, you know. So there's loads of things and there's loads of pitfalls and I think the book covers them, you know.
The book.
And it's funny.
And it's funny too. And you get the audio book, and listeners, you'll be able to order. By the way, you can pre-order the book via our own virtual bookstore. It's called Manchester Must Dance: A Life of Music, Madness, and Moving On Up. If people want to find you online, I mean, do you TikTok? Are you a social media fiend? Where can people find you?
Oh, social media, love it. No, I'm not a TikTok fiend at all. I can't stand it. But I'm on Instagram. Pickering 54 on Instagram.
Which is obviously, like me, that's obviously our age, Mike. Well spotted there. Exactly, Mike.
No, it's actually year of birth, but there you go.
I'm in my bear. I'm sugarcoating it, mate. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.